How about now? Do I have any audio right now? Is that working? All right, well, let me back up then. Thank you so much for letting me know. Looks like we have the audio now. Right? Okay, well, thank you for letting me know, Lone Wolf. I appreciate that. We do have, we're prepping for the cold weather. I'm like, do I start over? Do I not? Cold weather's coming, so we're prepping for that. It's mid-November already. Please make sure you're doing a proper pre-trip, proper post-trip. We have, of course, it's absolutely beautiful here with our weather. It's about 47 degrees here in Montana, and we have a terminal in Missoula, Montana, by the way. We have one in Fort Dodge, Iowa, in Bessemer, Alabama as well, and then, of course, in other areas of Iowa and Hammond, Indiana. So we're pretty much heavy in the Midwest as well as coast to coast. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out to our recruiting department at 877-433-2537 so that we can answer those questions for you. We're prepping for the weather is what I was getting at. So please make sure you're doing a proper pre-trip and post-trip. In that, check your chains. Your chains need to be in good working order. We don't require that you throw chains, but we do require that you know how to in case you get into trouble. So they're used to get yourself out of trouble, not into trouble. Make sure that you know that, but you want to make sure that they are also in good condition. They're sitting, most of the year, they will be sitting in your side box or the back box for, and going through rain. So they're totally covered, but rain can get into those boxes and just weather altogether. So, and the rubbing and the rust, those can create damage to the chain. So please lay them out, make sure that all the links are in good condition, make sure that there aren't any breaks or that they're not rusted through or even welded together because of sitting there. So please check all of that. And then if you do need a new chain, reach out to our shop so that we can get those updated for you, get you new ones. Okay. So like I said, we don't require that you're throwing chains. Obviously, we do require that you have chains if you're running in any of the mountains. We run a lot in the Northwest in our refrigerated division. We run a lot in the Midwest in basically all of our divisions, refrigerated, flatbed. We even have a hopper position currently available. And obviously we run a lot in the Midwest for that one too. But you are required to have chains anywhere from the 1st of September to the 31st of May to make sure that you are not running into issues and stranded out there. So please check those in order. And speaking of checking, make sure that you also have your fuel additive added every time that you fuel up, especially when the weather starts getting colder or as the weather gets colder. If you're living in the Southeast, it might not be as common for you, or you might not even be aware how important additive is. There isn't a specific additive that we necessarily use. We'll use Penray, we'll use Centene, but for the most part, just follow the instructions on the fuel additive when you're adding it to your fuel to make sure that you have plenty of it. Hey George, how are you? So once you've read the instructions, make sure that you're good to go. Then you can add if it's 100, one bottle for every 100 gallons, one bottle for every 200 gallons. It'll tell you right there. So make sure that you are at least putting that amount in. If you're in areas of the Midwest or the Northwest, fuel or additive is often already in your fuel, but in minimal amounts. So, and that's because they're pumping in these freezing temperatures. I say that in right now, like I said, it is absolutely gorgeous, but the beautiful cool fall day around 47. But when it starts getting to 10 and 0 and -10, -20, you need to make sure that you're adding the additive putting the fuel additive in so that you're not gelling up. It can be extremely expensive if you end up having a gel up, not only with the cost to get you moving again, but also with the number of hours that it can create for downtime for you as you're waiting for somebody to come and help. And then of course, getting moving again. So please add the additive, right? That's exactly right. Life says, are there any dedicated routes, flatbed or refrigerated, but would rather flatbed? Currently available, we don't have a dedicated flatbed opportunity. The only dedicated account that we currently have open, and it all depends on where you live, of course, but the one that we currently have available is out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. So you do need to live in Fort Dodge in order to qualify for that position. It's a dedicated hopper position, actually. So you're running from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska and back. We have two positions that are currently available. One's a 6:30 a.m. and one's a 6:30 p.m. We have basically it's 11 days on and 3 days off is how that rotation is right now. You also have, I believe, 2 days on and 2 days off, followed by 3 on, 3 off. So it's 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off, and back to 2 on, 2 off. So we have one of those as well, unless it's being filled as of right now, because there was some talk that was filled. So again, call our recruiting department 877-433-2537 to be sure. But other than that, yeah, that's really the only dedicated position that is currently available. We recently filled our Nashville dedicated position, which is flatbed, and that one runs a lot of Nashville, Arkansas to Dallas, Texas, and areas of Louisiana, including Monroe and Shreveport. And so that one just got filled last week, so we don't have any of those available. And our refrigerated is OTR or home weekly. So yeah, we don't have anything that's dedicated as of right now. We definitely have home weekly and refrigerated and flatbed. Again, it depends on where you live. If you want to put your zip code in, I can tell you what we have available out of your neck of the woods so that you know what you have available to you, and then there's not any of these off scenarios that like telling you all this information and then you're like, wait, none of that even applies to me. There's nothing here. So go ahead. How much does it pay? The Fort Dodge, Iowa position pays per shift. It's roughly an 8-hour shift because, like I mentioned, it's from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska and back. It's on a day cab, and it is slip seating because as soon as you're done with the shift, we have multiple shifts throughout the day and we keep that truck running. So yeah, that one pays per shift. So if you're at the 6:30 a.m. shift, so if you start at 6:30 a.m., you're going to be paid $2.25 on any shifts that run Monday through Friday. So if it's Monday, it's $2.25 a shift. If it's Wednesday, it's $2.25 a shift. If it's Friday, it's $2.25 a shift, etc. But if you're running on a Saturday or Sunday, like I said, it's 11 days on and 3 days off. That's one option right now. Then the Saturday and Sunday shifts actually pay $2.50 for the 6:30 a.m. Start time. So those pay $2.50 on the Saturday and Sundays. For the 6 p.m. shift is a little bit different. On the weekends, it pays on the weekends for the 6:30 p.m. position, that one will pay $2.75 for Saturday and Sunday, and it'll pay $2.50 on the shifts Monday through Friday. So hopefully that answers your question. If you're asking about the home weekly positions and what that pays for flatbed, that one is going to be based off of your experience level. The amount of years of experience that you have goes into account towards your rate of pay per mile. Now we do have a safety net, which is a minimum pay, so it makes life easy to budget off of. So you won't make less than $1,000 a week in the flatbed division. In some of the divisions, we also have one specific division, our Midwest Home Weekly division, which, if I can give you a visual here, anywhere from St. Louis, Missouri, over to Columbus, Ohio, north to Toledo, back on over to Chicago and north to Milwaukee, over to Mason City, Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa, down through Iowa City and St. Louis. Everything that's encompassed in that area that I just mentioned, that has the minimum pay. Instead of $1,000 a week, it's actually $1,450 a week, so $1,450 a week. But again, your rate of pay per mile is based off of your experience level. And if your miles and your rate of pay per mile exceed that, then you're going to get the better of the two. Now that $14.50 is a home weekly, so you're usually coming home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning, and then leaving back out either Sunday night or Monday morning. Usually for an early Monday morning delivery, depending on, of course, how far, where your house is and how far out you are from that specific load. Now our other divisions, if you are home on a weekly basis, same for flatbed, it's usually about the same home time, coming in on a Saturday or Friday or Saturday and out Sunday or Monday. For refrigerated, it's not necessarily on the weekends because refrigerated freight delivers pretty much all week long. So those can kind of vary. And in some areas, we offer a 5-day out with a 2-day home time, or a 7-day out with a 2-day home time. Though that minimum pay is $700 for the week. And then for 11 days out, or 14, or then you're looking at a 3-day home time. And if you're out 2 to 3 weeks at a time, then 3 to 4 days home for sure. So yeah. Life says gives me a zip code. Awesome. Give me a sec here. Let me pull that out. So 33919. You are. Let's see. It doesn't look like I have anything out of there. Where's that at? Let's see, and with 5 years of experience. Well, first of all, 5 years of experience would put you at 64 cents a mile. Oh, you're in Fort Myers, Florida. I do not currently have anything out of Fort Myers, out of Florida there. The only thing that I have out of Florida would be flatbed, and that would be in the Upper Peninsula, so just south of Alabama for the most part. So yeah, that's all I've got there. And that would be over the road, which would put you, if you lived in that area of Florida, it would put you home about every 3 weeks. So, yeah. Yep, every once in a while it'll open up into the Tampa, Orlando area, Jacksonville, but as of right now, that area is full. Good question, though. Yep. So like I was saying before, we have that minimum pay, that safety net, and then we have the rate of pay per mile. So again, your rate of pay per mile is based on your experience level. I'm trying to remember if I even said with 5 years of experience, but with 5 years of experience in the flatbed division, your rate of pay would be 64 cents a mile to start. You then get a penny raise after 90 days, and then you get a penny raise every year on your anniversary as well. So right now the cap is at 70 cents a mile, but you get a pay raise annually until you hit that cap. We also have a minimum, I guess with the minimum pay, we have the requirements, 6 requirements, pretty basic. Be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, so no driver service failures, so no late loads. No CSA violations for the week, no preventable accidents for the week, and get your paperwork in on time. They're pretty basic requirements, but they're there to obviously hold us all accountable and to be aware. So, yeah, we've got those, and if you have questions, if for some reason you weren't able to meet one of those requirements, maybe you didn't get your paperwork in on time, or maybe you had an incident or something like that, then you would get your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you ran. That's how the pay would revert to that instead of that minimum pay. But again, your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run are more than likely to be over that minimum pay. So then again, you'll get the better of the two. So J Mosley Express, hey, how you doing? Says we've got 30233. Where's that at? Let's see. We do have both refrigerated and flatbed out of there, and I can get you in the flatbed. It's home. That's out of Jackson, Georgia, right? So in flatbed, I can get you home every other weekend. So you're coming home usually on every other weekend on a Friday or Saturday for the most part, and back out Sunday or Monday. With 20 years of experience, you'd be starting at 70 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem, so you're not taxed on it. The minimum, that safety net we were talking about, that's at $1,000 a week. And with your rate of pay at 70 cents a mile, you are at the cap, the current cap. That doesn't include any of our monthly bonuses, But that is just the regular rate of pay per mile that would include. So that's 70 cents a mile. In the refrigerated division, which I have a number of refrigerated home time options for you, whether you're looking to be home every 7 days or every 2 or 3 weeks, we have options that way too. With every 7 days, we can get you home for 2 days. So 7 days and then for 2 days home. That one does not guarantee home weekends. It does, however, offer the full 2 days on your home time. There's a minimum of $700 a week for that 7 days out and 2 days home in the refrigerated division. And then we also have, say you stay out 11 days at a time and then home for 3 days. That one's a minimum of $1,000 a week. But again, your rate of pay per mile, whether you're in the one that's home every 7 days or one that's home every 11 or maybe even 2 to 3 weeks, that your rate of pay per mile is based on your experience. And with your 20 years of experience in the refrigerated division, you would go ahead and start at 65 cents a mile. At 65 cents a mile, you'll get a penny raise after 90 days, and then you'll get a penny raise every year on your anniversary until you hit the cap of, again, the cap is 70 cents a mile. So that's where you'd be at. Starting out in any of our refrigerated divisions. But again, your rate of pay per mile and the miles ran are most likely going to exceed those minimum pays unless you have one of the circumstances, which is what it was designed for. If weather gets in the way or loads get canceled or a variety of reasons. So that's why that safety net is there in place. Again, the safety, I was going to say the safety net, but the minimum pay requirement, there's 6 requirements. Getting your paperwork in on time, which is Tuesday night, is the best option for you there. Making sure that you're available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads. Being available for dispatch 5 days out of the week, I said that one. No CSA points and no preventable incidents or accidents for the week. That's the 6 criteria. Pretty basic, but that's what it is. Yeah. Thank you for getting ready to apply for the refrigerated. Fantastic. If you are looking to apply, you can either go to drivedecker.com and just get your application in, get the ball rolling. You can also reach out to one of the recruiters and call them at 877-433-2537, which is 877, the number 4, Decker. And they'll get back to you to continue to answer those questions and make sure that you've got all that. But that's what we're here for here as well. When it comes to benefits, that's a question we get often. A lot of times when people are looking to move, or if they're coming from maybe an owner-operator situation, and they're coming to either lease on as a company driver or whatever it might be, or if they're just going company. The benefits question is something I get often. So as a company, a professional driver here at Decker Truckline, we have a number of benefits that come along with it. So you have, of course, the minimum pay. I don't necessarily consider that a benefit, but just part of the pay structure. But it is a benefit in my eyes compared to a lot of companies that only pay the mileage pay. If you've been in the trucking business long enough, Jay Mosley, prime example, been in the trucking industry long enough, sometimes being paid mileage pay, and when if mileage is out of your hands, that can be pretty frustrating. So that's why I don't always consider, but I personally think that the minimum pay is a benefit, a perk to peace of mind type thing, I guess, is more than anything. Anyways, moving on to the benefits. We have Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's an 80-20 plan. There's so much that has been added in the last couple of years, last year especially. And by the way, we are in the middle of open enrollment, so if any of our current professional drivers are on that need to make any changes, now is the time to do it. You have from now until the 30th of November to make any changes, and those will go into effect on the 1st of the year. But if you're new to Decker or looking at exploring Decker as an option, then yes, it's a 60-day wait before the benefits kick in. You have anything from medical and dental, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Dental, we also offer a teledental. That's brand new to us, where we didn't offer that before. We didn't have that option. It wasn't, anyways. We had the teledoc, but we didn't have the teledental. So that's new, which is exciting. That's just one teledoc service per year. We have $0 generic medications. That's offered. We started that at the beginning of the year. So that was a huge win when it came to covering prescriptions, especially prescriptions out on the road. It can be so expensive for a lot of you, whether you're on heart medication or I mean, it could be, there's a number. I don't even know why I started. But yeah, $0 generic medications that are now offered. The exception is through Walgreens and CVS. Those are the exceptions to where you can get the $0 generic. However, we also have $0 brand name and specialty medications that are now available too. So that's a zero. When I say $0, that's a $0 copay for you. And they are available through like Control RX and Navicare RX, where you can order them. Usually, I think you can get like a 60-day supply, so it makes life easier that way for you too, and they'll be delivered to your house. So we also have benefits. We also have FedLogic, which is a new program this last year. It provides access to individuals who are basically they can assist and help with a lot of the questions that you have around federal or state benefits, Medicare, Social Security. If you have a major illness that's covered or that you need coverage options for, those are all things that FedLogic program helps to answer. So they're there. It's a great support when sometimes that topic can be over our heads for those of us who don't know a whole lot about it. They are our resource to get those questions answered and to have more coverage. They can also help with finding alternative healthcare avenues for you as well. Speaking of alternative healthcare, Regenix is another program that we have here at Decker. And Regenix basically utilizes your body's own stem cells to help reduce the pain and improve function. So if you're having issues with, anything from your elbow, your shoulder, your like joints, I'm thinking joints, elbow, knee, shoulder, ankle, hip, spine, and I just want to go head and toes around with that song, but it helps to avoid surgery and to be able to help heal and improve function and reduce pain. That's what that Regenix program is all about. So that's something that we started at the beginning of the year as well, which is a pretty good deal. And in addition to those benefits, we have the hospital indemnity plan that's now offered. Again, that's a new one. And the 10-year opt-out plan. So if you decide, I don't need any insurance, especially for those of you who've been with us and maybe you're veterans, maybe you have additional or TRICARE, you've got some additional healthcare coverage, and you decide to opt out of the Decker program, you've been with us for over 25 years, then instead of medical plan coverage, you can opt in for an in lieu of cash or cash in lieu of the program. So that's yet another option. But if you guys have any questions about it, if you want to speak to the HR department, if you're here at Decker, reach out to the HR department so that we can answer those, the benefits department and stuff like that. So Dean says, speaking of the canceled loads, do those reuse those numbers? Is our 1 millionth load with McLeod? Oh, yes. Okay. So we had, this is kind of a fun thing that we did. So one of our professional drivers, we have a Facebook group, and one of our professional drivers, who actually is one of our past grand champions, which means a $15,000 bonus, he mentioned the other day in the Facebook group that we were getting close to hitting our 1 millionth load in our McLeod system, which is a system we've been using for, I think we switched over to it in 2017 or 2018. But we've been using it for a few years. Anyways, we're on our 1 millionth load with the McLeod system, and he said, whoever gets load 1 million, I'll get him something. Well, we figured we'd take that off his hands, and we'd have a little bit of fun with it. And so we are awarding our 1 millionth load, the driver, I should say, of our 1 millionth load with a $50 gift card. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with that. Now, when what Dean is asking is, who was it? I think what you're asking is, who was it and was it completed? The date of it did get pushed out, and so it was picked up yesterday, and it should be delivered later today. And so, yes, we figured we would wait until it's delivered, and then we could award it. As far as I know, I mean, he knows it's the 1 millionth, but I don't know if he realizes or is part of the Facebook group. I didn't see him in there. For knowing that he is getting an award. So we will see. We will see. But it's very fun. Just having some fun with it. You know, it's not totally out of their hands, but why not? George says, what about the safety bonus? We have our safety bonus is one of our monthly bonuses, and that one itself is a penny per mile for all the miles that were ran for the previous month. So everything that was run in October, if you earn the safety bonus, you get an extra penny per mile for all those loads. You get an extra penny per mile for the safety bonus for all of that. So yeah, that's where I'm going with that. We have both our safety bonuses based off of our Lytx system, which is our inward and outward facing event recorders. It's part of our safety feature that's in the truck. And again, it accounts for a penny per mile on all of the miles. And then again, that's addition to your rate of pay per mile. So using Jay Mosley as an example, who I quoted the 65 cents a mile for the refrigerated or the 70 if he decided to do flatbed, even though flatbed or 70 is at the cap, it has no bearing on your bonus. That is completely separate. The bonus for the Lytx itself, we have other bonuses, but this one specifically is a penny per mile on all the miles. You do need to run a minimum of 1,000 miles for the month in order to qualify. So, for instance, say you were on vacation and you had a couple of weeks vacation, so you didn't run a whole lot. As long as you ran at least 1,000 miles a month, then you could qualify for this. You also have to have both your inward and outward facing event recorders on. That is pretty much a given anyway. It's a safety feature. It has protected our professional drivers a number of times in different situations, so we could prove that they were not in the wrong. So, and then the other part is the way that it's calculated. You have to have a calculated safety score of 0.49 or below. 0.49 down to 0 or rounds down to 0, and anything 0.5 and up rounds up to 1. So that kind of gives you an idea. So anything 0.49 or below is basically considered 0 on this safety. So that was some of the things that we had in question, and that just kind of clears it up. The Lytx system uses the GPS miles rather than dispatch miles. So it counts all your miles driven. Our Lytx bonus system excludes anybody that runs, because we have a number of office staff that'll run like a local run here or there, or maybe on the weekend real quick. So it excludes any of those, or occasional drivers who are paid hourly as well. So this is just for more of our over-the-road regional drivers. Hopefully that answers your question. Now, in addition to that safety bonus that we're talking about, we also have our our performance bonus, which is, we call it our scorecard bonus. And it's based off of not only performance like on-time delivery and miles, but also fuel efficiency and fuel compliance, idle time, and what else? Making sure you don't have any preventable accidents, no CSA violations, and no driver service claims. I think I already mentioned that. But that's the 7 criteria. It's pretty basic, but that is what the scorecard bonus is. And that's an extra 4 cents a mile for our company drivers. So altogether between those two monthly bonuses, that can get you an extra 5 cents a mile on all the miles that you've completed over the previous month. So yes, very good. You're welcome. No problem. Dean says it can't be load 1 million because it was weeks ago. Actually, it is load 1 million. The reason being, Dean, is because when the loads are assigned the number based on when we scheduled those. So with our McLeod system, we will get a load maybe a month in advance or 2 months in advance or something like that. We knew that load was there a couple of months ago. However, it wasn't assigned until, we had somebody, we needed to make sure we were going to have somebody in that area. So yeah, we've had it for a couple of months, and that's why we've already surpassed it. It just wasn't assigned because it wasn't ready to pick up yet. And that's not uncommon because we'll have loads scheduled for months in advance. And of course, in order to schedule them, they have to be assigned a number. So, but the order in which they're picked up isn't based on the number, but the order in which those loads are created, that is where the number correlates with it. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, I will try that explanation again. Hopefully it makes more sense to you. But yeah. So it is in the process right now, but it hasn't been delivered yet. So since we were talking safety, I do want to give a shout out to our quarterly safety training winner or drawing winners. We have our quarterly safety, obviously, it's quarterly, and those who complete that quarterly safety within the first 24 hours, their name is put into a hat or into a bucket, and then we draw for winners. We draw 10 winners, actually, and each of those 10 winners receives a Pilot Flying J gift card. We had Jeffrey Segal, Claudia Deer, Stephen Jones, Jose Castro, Martin Blanker, Christopher Zwick, Michael Haas, Tremaine Geralds, Preston Carr, and Judd Cahoot, who won the Pilot Flying J gift card. So a little fun with that one as well. And then what was the other thing that's right, the October safety jackets came out as well. So with our safety jacket earners, your first 6 months here at Decker, you are awarded a safety jacket if you've had 0 preventable accidents and 0 DOT inspections resulting in a CSA violation or CSA points. So if you basically have a clean safety record in your first 6 months, you are awarded a safety jacket. And we had, a number of guys who were awarded here. Jerry Copel, Cornelius Whitfield, Al Williams, John Trimmer Sr., Joshua Morris, Abdullah Muhammad, Guy Wise, Jared Tinney, Kevin Thompson, and Chad Ulrich, all winning or earning their safety jackets. So congratulations to each one of you there who had earned that. Pretty fun to have. Pretty fun to visit with. I know a lot of you guys look forward to that, especially with the winter coming in. Making sure you have a little bit heavier jacket, right? So yeah, that was the safety jackets. We had the quarterly training. Also, speaking of quarterly training, or speaking of safety training, we use a platform called Luma, and we have a new Luma training that is mandatory for all of our employees, and it's about treating your fuel. So we have that Luma training that goes out on Wednesday. It goes out tomorrow, and you have 2 weeks to complete it. So until the 30th, you have to complete that Luma training. It's a mandatory training. It's really, really important to be prepared for the winter months and making sure you know how to treat the fuel and when to treat the fuel and how much is all included within that training session. It's a quick training session. It's a video followed by a few questions, and then again, video followed by a few questions. But we all are required to take that so that we can prevent any gelling up of the trucks and trailers and APU units. So there you go. Sound right? Life of Jay, how are ya? Asking about let's see, where are you at? 45013 for a zip. Well, I have a number of things out of there. I've got refrigerated, I have flatbed, I have over the road, I have regional. So that's out of Hamilton, Ohio, right? Life of Jay, Hamilton, Ohio. So you have an option of either home weekly in the refrigerated or flatbed, and this one is like I can get you home every 5 days in refrigerated and then home for 2 days. That's a minimum of $700 a week. Of course, your rate of pay per mile is going to be the same whether you decide to stay out for five days at a time, or 7 or 11 or 2 to 3 weeks. Your rate of pay per mile will be the same, and it's based off of your experience level. And anywhere for someone who's brand new to the industry at 52 cents a mile, and that one you would work your way up within that first year, up to 65 would be the highest starting pay that we currently have for our refrigerated division. But you'll get a penny raise after 90 days, and then a penny raise every year on your anniversary till you hit the cap as well. Flatbed. Okay, so let's change gears. He says flatbed. If flatbed is what you're looking to continue, we have a flatbed division that would start you at, let me double check, let me make sure that I'm giving you the right number. Yeah, okay. So you'd start at 64 cents a mile. That's your rate of pay per mile. You have a minimum safety net of $1,450 a week, so $1,450 a week that you know you'll make. You need to make sure that you're available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week. No load refusals, no driver service failures, no late loads. That would be your fault, of course. I mean, if it's a customer, a shipper, or receiver, that's out of your hands. So no late loads, no CSA violations for the week, no preventable accidents for the week, and get your paperwork in on time. Paperwork cutoff is today. It's Tuesday at midnight, and everything in by Tuesday at midnight is paid on Friday. So you have to have all of your paperwork in for the week, so any of the loads that were completed within the week in order to qualify for that minimum pay. Now, your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run are most likely going to exceed, in most cases, are going to exceed that $1,450, or that minimum pay, I should say. In the $1,450, however, I would say that's a pretty, it's usually right there at that $1,450 mark, $1,450, $5,000, or $1,500, somewhere around there, is what you can expect on a weekly basis. And home Friday night, Saturday morning, back out Sunday night, Monday morning. Yeah, usually for an early Monday morning delivery. So that's pretty common out of your neck of the woods for that position. Now there's other positions available where you can stay out longer. Your rate of pay is going to be the same per mile. The minimum amount in most of the other divisions is $1,000. But in that case, obviously, your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run are more likely to be, you'll probably be more likely to get that than that minimum pay, since you'll probably exceed the mileage marker on that one. Right? Cool. But that $1,450, it's a heavy area for freight. You're running some shorter runs. So there are times that you might not go above that $1,450, and that might be the max that you get for that week. So that's why we padded that one a little bit for you. All right. Also with experienced drivers like yourself, Life of Jay, Life also, and Jay Mosley. Yeah, all of you are experienced drivers, and I see the number of years on the chat here. For our experienced drivers, we do have a sign-on bonus. It's a $2,000 sign-on bonus. It pays in 4 increments. So on first dispatch, you'll get a $500 addition to, it's actually $500 on top of the $500 that you get for orientation pay. And then you'll get another $500, which is part of the sign-on bonus. You'll get that at 60 days, 90 days, and 180 days. so that we've got those 4 increments for that sign-on bonus. So that'll be in addition to your rate of pay per mile, to your minimum pay. It'll be in addition to your bonus, other bonuses. So that's what that is. Now, it's also in addition to your orientation pay, which for an experienced driver, it's just a 3-day orientation, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're usually dispatched out usually Thursday morning, not usually on Wednesday, but there are cases that you do get dispatched as early as Wednesday. You'll go through company policies and procedures and meet a handful of people throughout management, your driver manager, safety, etc., just so that you are gaining connections throughout the company. So if you need something, you can reach out to us. You also meet with the maintenance department, and they walk through the truck with you, and they'll do a checklist with you as well, so that you can kind of know your equipment. Running the APU unit is key. We have all kinds of amenities in the truck, by the way. APUs, inverters, refrigerators, microwaves. We have a 22-inch television with EpicView satellite TV programming. I mean, the trucks come very well equipped, and that's why the maintenance department spends a little bit of time with you to make sure you know how to run everything. All those perks, right? They are double bunk trucks, and most of them are the 579 Peterbilts, although we have a small number of Volvos and Freightliners. I'd say 95%, minimum of 95% of our trucks are Peterbilts. But all of them come with those amenities as a company driver. And then CB units, what am I missing for amenities? Because these suckers are loaded. But they're really, really nice. Average age is about 18 months. At 3 years, or around 400,000, is usually when we are taking it out of the fleet and selling them. Speaking of selling, if you are looking for a used truck and you're an owner-operator or another fleet owner who's looking for equipment, we do have some Peterbilts, Volvos, and Freightliners for sale. You can get a hold of Jordan for details on that. You feel free to give us a call. You can call out this number as well, but for our company drivers, our owner-operators, and our in-house employees, we do referral bonuses. So, if that's something that you're interested in, you can reach out, and we do a referral bonus for selling that equipment as well. So, if you want to be part of that, or know somebody that needs it. Really nice equipment, all kinds of amenities on the company side. Obviously, when we're selling the equipment, they don't come with the TV and the EpicView and stuff like that, but they do come with some of those other amenities, like I said, APU, and they're double bunks and whatnot. So, yeah. Let me know if you have questions. 877-433-2537. We'll be hopping on later this week onto TikTok to answer some questions, so if you want to join me there, you are more than welcome to do so. And, of course, we go live on Mondays as well at 4 p.m. Central. I had to think about that for a minute because I'm Mountain Time. So, all right, you guys, I appreciate you spending some time with me today, and hopefully I answered your questions. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll visit with you later this week. Take care.